Right then, so today what I wanted to do was basically sit down and discuss and kind of review my thoughts and the anticipation behind The Predator 2018 by comparison to the original Predator. Now, a lot of people are aware we're eagerly anticipating the release of Shane Black's reinvention, this is what is in the official synopsis anyway, of the Predator franchise. And I've kind of kept my personal opinions to one side a lot with this. This video will be very, very full of my personal opinion. So just be warned, because obviously I have kept that to one side. I've been trying to push it and promote it as much as possible with regards to being cautiously optimistic. However, I think the film's going to be absolutely shit, basically. And I did warn you, this is just my personal opinion. I've read the leaked script. I've been privy to people that have attended the test screening, which happened in November of last year. And with regards to everything that's come out around this film, I think it's going to be shit. And I'm basically going to break down why and essentially discuss the beauty of the original film by comparison to this one. So what made the original film so good? And my aim with this video is basically to get your thoughts on that as well. So when The Predator gets released, we can look back and we can basically compare with regards to what you guys put in the comment section on what made the original so good. And then obviously if we do get a failure, an absolute stinker of a movie in The Predator, then we know why. And we can compare. So it's a bit of a discussion-based format review today. So what made the original so good? Well, first and foremost, in my eyes, it is the machoist film you have ever seen in your life. It really is. You've got such strong male characters fighting what we would then learn to become the universe's most skilled hunter. So that alone makes this film very, very, very appealing to obviously a male audience. Not only that, if we're looking at it from a technical aspect and also just how the film got made, everyone was on their A game in The Predator, the original film. Everyone was really, really up on it. Yes, there are some issues with regards to the initial production and the initial creature design, but everyone really wanted that film to succeed, and everyone did their utmost to make that film succeed. It's a beautiful film just from how it's made, how it looks, how it's edited together, and everyone in terms of their acting and really what they brought to that film, everyone brought their absolute A game. And of course, it is absolutely iconic to this day. But what made it so iconic, aside from everything that's previously mentioned, is how simple the film is. And that's what's important when we're going to be comparing it to Shane Black's The Predator that gets released this year. Why do I say that? Well, if we're looking at The Predator, just the first film featuring Dutch Arnold Schwarzenegger, why is it so simple? What is the story? A bunch of military men arrive in a jungle, tasked with going to rescue another bunch of military men. Then they get hunted by an alien. That's it. That is the story. There is nothing too complex about this. It is extremely simple, but in doing so, it is extremely beautiful in its execution. It is such a good story because of its simplicity. It doesn't need any massive, strange twists or anything like this. It is just a very, very simple story. Now, let's take The Predator. And of course, there is going to be some slight spoilers here. We've learned in the official synopsis, and obviously I've got the leaked script, we have multiple bands of different predators. We have dissident predators working with humans. We've got an upgraded predator looking to hunt everyone. We've got another faction of a predator that gets captured and runs amok. We've got autism as a plot device for learning the predator language. We've got predators changing why they hunt humans. We've got even more predator creatures in this film, hybridized predator creatures. It's so complex. Just in that alone, it's a lot to juggle where it doesn't need to be juggling anything. It doesn't need any of this. It absolutely doesn't. What really concerned me when I did the report on the official synopsis was reinvention. It's even there in the official synopsis. This is Shane Black's reinvention of the Predator franchise. It doesn't need to be reinvented. At all, in fact. It really does not need to be reinvented. You can have a new take on certain things, but don't reinvent the wheel. The wheel is good because it turns. this is not going to be turning. In my eyes, I said from the outset, this is just my opinion. Not only that, who is cast in this movie? Who? You got Boyd Holbrook as the lead. I mean, the guy's fine, but it doesn't exactly inspire the feel of macho and masculinity that, say, Arnold Schwarzenegger does. And of course, it doesn't need to be carried on masculinity, but it started on that, it continued on that, and then it slowly fell to one side. In terms of the original Predator's casting to today's casting in The Predator, we have two films which are very of their time. The casting in the new film, I phrase it as very millennial. These characters will appeal to millennial-based audiences. They are quite lithe looking, and they're going to be kind of masculine in their litheness. They're not what you would look at and go, yep, that's a stereotype of a masculine man. That is a muscle-bound army man, like, say, Arnold Schwarzenegger did. The reason the original succeeded and why everyone loves it so much is they're such iconic and kind of cheesy-based lines that absolutely work. You know, Arnold Schwarzenegger famously improv'd the line, "stick around," when he threw the machete at one of the guerrilla-based insurgents. And in that, how can you have the likes of Boyd Holbrook saying these things, the likes of Alfie Bloody Allen saying these things? It's not going to work. It will come across massively cheesy, but in an extremely negative way. And then let's not even go around the approach of agendas. This film is going to be pushing an agenda. We've got a scientist in Olivia Munn, who not only is a scientist, but she can handle a gun. Why? Why does she need to handle a gun? Why does she need to turn into a badass? Why? Because, obviously, she's a woman, and in today's society, when we're pushing the Me Too movement and strong female characters, we need to have a very played out stereotype and archetype of a strong female character, don't we? Of course we do. Why? Why wouldn't we need that? Why wouldn't we? We don't need it because it's the Predator. The Predator doesn't need that. And I'm all for strong female characters, absolutely. I've got no issue with strong female characters. But we don't need a scientist that can just randomly, for whatever reason, be able to handle a gun and survive to the very end because story. That's why. Because fucking story. It doesn't need to happen. In looking at the script, you'd look at that and just say, why does this need to happen? Why? How does she do this? What occurs here? Why? And it's the same with the fact that they're pushing this weird PTSD veteran group called, I think they're even titled The Crazies, if I remember rightly from the script. The Crazies! What? What a good way to insult a bunch of, you know, a whole group of people that have fought, you know, for king and country, and you're just going to insult them like that. Absolutely insane. And the other agenda that they're pushing here, autism. And I've got no issue with autism. Fantastic. Of whatever. You know, have some representation for autism. But don't use it as a fucking plot device. You're using it as a plot device for understanding the Predator language. What? What? What a great way to misrepresent a debilitating issue for quite a lot of people. And obviously it's not debilitating to everyone, but this is perpetuating a very media-based portrayal of something which is very real for a lot of people. And I've been, you know, strung up for it in a few videos where I've mentioned it, and people have gone, there's nothing wrong with it. I know there's nothing wrong with it, but there is something wrong with it, and you should find something wrong with it, and somewhat of an issue when they're sensationalizing it and pushing it in terms of a very media-based portrayal. It's dog shit. It's absolute dog shit. It doesn't need to be in a Predator film. Why? Why do we need this? Ugh. So in short, I would like to know why you loved the original film so much. Why do you love this franchise so much? Because another reason I think this film is going to fail is, yes, the Predator fan base is not very big. It's not. But it is absolutely extreme. They love the Predator. And I'm a Predator fan, and I absolutely love it. And I love all of the expanded media. It's fantastic. Some of the best stories have come from the comics, and some of the best stories have come from the games. And they've been so in-depth and so beautifully played out that now we've got a new film that's going to come out and piss on all of the lore. You cannot expect such an engaged fan base to not look at that and be somewhat insulted. Not only that, it's coming out in a few months, in friggin' September. We don't have a trailer. It's gone for extensive reshoots. It already had a test screening in November of last year. It finished filming a year ago in May. And also it's going for a public test screening this week, and we still don't have a fucking trailer. You cannot look at that by any sense and say that that is not worrying. They're burying the film. Off the back of that, a lot of people have said to me, yeah, but Solo didn't have a trailer. Just cut the crap for 1 second. Star Wars fan base is so massive that they could literally put a turd on screen in a Darth Vader helmet and say this is the the new film, and it would make money. Without a trailer, it would still make money because the Star Wars fan base is so big that they don't have to rely on marketing. The Predator fan base is large, absolutely, and it is a loved film property, but it is nowhere near as big as Star Wars. And that's not a negative to Predator at all. Absolutely not. But it is a negative when you're not marketing the film effectively, and they're not. That's an issue. So in short, tell me why you loved the original, what you think it did so well, why it's so loved, and why you have a special place for it. And I want to hear from everything I've put out, because I've done numerous videos on this, why you think the Predator 2018, it's going to be out this year, is not going to do very well. I want to know why, so we can look back at this when the film actually gets released and see if we were right. I could be completely wrong. I forewarned you, this entire video is just my opinion. Absolutely. Nothing else. It's just my opinion, which I've held back on quite a lot. But I think the film's going to be shit, basically. I genuinely do. I don't have high hopes for it. I have hopes. I want it to succeed, but I don't think it will. So leave all your thoughts down below in the comment section. As always, I have been Mr. H, and I will catch you in the next video.